So in this video, I just wanted to show how you can also use another type of grid to draw things really quickly. I'm just calling this one the external grid. So this is what it looks like. And to begin, it starts exactly the same way as the other one, only instead of starting with a back wall, we're just starting with a horizon line. So again, I'm just going to do a little demonstration here really quick. And I'm just going to take the line and just drop it down from the top and draw my horizon line. And then I'm just going to mark off equal increments along the way. I'm just going to do this really quick. Fake it. Okay, and then I put my X. So in this case, I'm going to put my X up here. Remember, your X does not have to be on the same piece of paper. Sometimes when I'm drawing things, I'll take a second piece of paper and so that I can put the X farther away. And it doesn't have to be in the middle. It can also be off to the sides. Those are kind of fun things to experiment with. And then we do the same thing we did before. You go from the middle of the X through the line, and you keep doing that to get your stuff going like this. And remember, they always have to get skinnier as they get farther away. And if you have the case where something like that happens, it means you've missed a line. So you just have to go and check and make sure they're all getting smaller as they get farther away. And then to get my horizontal line, same thing. I'm just going to take a diagonal and go across the page. And that leaves you with this grid here. So same thing, once you do it once, you can just do a dark line, and then you can start using it to draw over top. So just to help see this a little better, yes, I managed to bring all the fun art toys home so that I've got my own light board. These light boards you buy online, they're only like $20. So if you find that you're doing a lot of like animation or things that you require to trace a lot, it's actually pretty cheap instead of having to go and use a window. Okay, so now that I have this grid, same thing, I can use it for all sorts of things. So for today, I'm just going to show how to start doing a city and how fast this would be. So just imagine if this is just a grid of all streets. Okay, let's do a building. So step number 1, draw the front of the object. This is exactly what we did on the first day when we started to draw a house. We just started with the front of the house. So this is the front of a building. Step number 2, go to the X. Well, my line's already here. And because of this line, I can go here. And because I'm not exactly on the grid here, I'll just go back to the X. And same thing, cut off your back. So I'm going to use this grid to help me figure out how to make a bunch of buildings and get them to get smaller and smaller as they go back in space. So I'm just going to start freehanding this. One of the cool things is don't make your buildings attached to each other like I did on the last one. Just leave a little space before you add the next one. So again, bottom goes to the X, top goes back to the X, straight up and down. And then I'm going to go straight across. Here's my back line right here, straight up. I'm going to go here, right across. And I can just do this really fast. I can just start going straight up and down, straight across, back here, straight up. But once you have that grid, it shows you the size of everything. So a building that size back here would be 1.5 spaces here. And the back of it is here. And you can start drawing things really quickly. So what would that building look like back here? What was it? 1.5 spaces. Okay, that's 1.5. And it goes from here to here. And now you can start seeing how quickly you could sit there and just start going, okay, here's some sidewalks. Here's some streets. Okay, I'm going to do a park. Let's make a park right here. All right. Things like, oh, look, I think I'll have an outdoor swimming pool here. So I'm just kind of pointing because the grid lines are there already, I can use them to figure out my drawing pretty fast. Oh, I need a diving board. It's going to go to the X. Go to the X. You know, things like that. And I can start drawing kind of anything I want. Even things if you have telephone poles, right? I'm going to start here. That's the height of the first one. And then I just need to know the top of all of them. And then I can just do this. Every time there's a line, I'm just going to go straight up and down. Those grids do all the math for me, and I can just start drawing whatever I want really fast. Again, get rid of the grid, and all my stuff's already done in perspective. So handy things to have, these grids.